Hello friends, my name is Deepak and welcome to my channel. Actually the last video which we uploaded for introduction to Linux, even I was not satisfied with the video, so I thought to make a video with some presentation which will give you some better understanding on Linux operating system. So let's start. So what all thing we are going to learn in this tutorial is, first, what is the operating system? Second, what is Linux? Third, why Linux? Fourth, the Linux system. And finally we are going to see the comparison between the Windows and the Linux. Now, what is the Linux operating system? First of all, an operating system is a set of programs that manage the computer hardware, resource, and provide the common services for application software. And the operating system is the most important type of the system software in the computer system. A user cannot run an application on the computer without an operating system unless the application is the program is self-booting. Okay, as you can see in the diagram here, whenever we are typing on the notepad, when typing on the browser or watching movies, what happen? How does the hardware come to know that we are typing where we want to watch the movie? Here is the diagram which depict how it's work. When the user gives an input, it goes through some application, and through application the operating system talk with the hardware, and the hardware responds to the operating system, and operating respond back to the application, and we get the output. This way the operating system helps us to communicate with the hardware. Second, what is Linux? Basically Linux is a true 32-bit Unix-like operating system developed originally for home PCs, but now it is run on a variety of platforms. The source code of Linux is freely available for everyone. This is the most tremendous thing of Linux. Linux was created by the Linus Torvalds in 1991, and it has been developed with the help of many programmers across internet. There was a group of programmers which works with Linus Torvalds, and at last they started with the Linux. Now it has evolved in very functional, powerful, and usable clone of Unix, which has at least 10 million users worldwide. Means the Unix is the parent of Linux. Linux was developed by looking at the Unix. As Unix was not open source, the source code of Linux was not viewable by anyone, so Linus thought that why not we show this source code to everyone, and the developers worldwide can create their own operating system which would help the world a lot. Now, why Linux? Why today the world is using Linux? The main reason is a Linux distribution has thousands of dollars worth of software for no cost. Means it is totally free. Linux is complete operating system. First, stable. It is a stable operating system, which means the crash of application is much less likely to bring down the operating system under Linux. It is much reliable. Linux servers are often up for hundreds of days compared with regular reboots required with Windows system. Here, the Linux server can run for hundreds of days without rebooting. It is extremely powerful. Linux provides a complete development environment, as we said earlier, we are able to see the source code. So Linux provides a complete development environment. Anyone can develop the Linux kernel as per their requirement. Some more feature of the Linux, like it is excellent networking facility, ideal environment to run the server such as web server or FTP server. A wide variety of commercial software is available if not satisfied by free software. There are many free software which comes along with the distribution, but even if you are not satisfied with that software, there are many commercial software which are available and you can install it on Linux. It is easily upgradable. If you want to upgrade with the Linux operating system, you can upgrade it very easily. Supports multiple processor. It is true multitasking and multi-user operating system. Full source code is provided and free. You can see, again I want to say you that you can see the full source code and you can develop it as per your requirement. Now let us learn something about the Linux system. The Linux system excel in many areas, ranging from end-user concerns such as stability, speed, ease of use, to a serious concern such as development and networking. Some part of Linux is Linux kernel, Linux networking, and Linux file system, which we are going to learn it further. What is Linux kernel, networking, and what are the file system do Linux support. Now let us see what is Linux kernel. Basically, if we say kernel is the heart of an operating system, as you can see, kernel is the central nervous system of Linux. Include operating system code, which runs the whole computer. It provides a resource to all other programs that you run under Linux and manage all other programs as they run. The kernel includes the code that performs certain specialized tasks, including TCP/IP networking. The kernel is modular so that the actual OS code is very small to be able to load when it's needed. Then free memory afterwards. Thus, the kernel remains small, fast, and highly extensible. Guys, please note it down because this is an important question even for the interviews. Now, what are the networking system to Linux support? Networking comes naturally to Linux. In a real sense, Linux is a product of Internet and the World Wide Web. Linux is made for networking. Probably all networking protocol in use of Internet are native to Unix or Linux. A large part of the web is running on Linux boxes. Example is AOL, guys. What are the networking protocols does Linux support? The Linux kernel supports several networking protocols such as TCP/IP, which is Transport Control Protocol and Internet Protocol. IP is the primary network protocol supported by Linux, and some of the other like IPX, Internet Work, Packet Exchange, and many more. Let us see some of the file system of Linux. Linux has an hierarchical unified file system. It supports 256 character file name. All command line entries are case sensitive. Please make sure, guys, whatever commands which we are going to learn in the next tutorial, please make sure each and every command should be written as it is. If A is small, you have to write the small a, because Linux is case sensitive. Last point is also very important. Use the slash, the forward slash, rather than using the backslash. You have been used in DOS. In Linux, we use forward slash. The type of files which Linux support. First is ordinary files, which are text file, data file, command text files, and executable files. Second is directory files. After the link files. Rather than having a multiple copies of file, Linux using linking to one files to save the disk, like hard link and soft link. And there are some special device files. Now let us see some comparison between the Linux and Unix, because whenever we talk about Linux, the Unix come automatically. The main difference is Linux is free but Unix is not. You have to pay for Unix. Unix is compatible with Linux at the system call level, meaning most program written for either Unix or Linux can be recompiled to run on other system with a minimum of work. But Linux run faster than Unix on same hardware. Second, most of the commands which are written in Unix will work on Linux. Actually, the Unix was developed for big servers, and after that the Linus developed the Linux for even for the home use. Now let us see the major comparison, Linux versus Microsoft. Nowadays everyone is confused what we should use, Linux or a Microsoft. Here is some examples which I tried to explain what is the difference of Linux and Microsoft Windows. First is, both offer some of the graphics capability and include some network capability, but Linux networking is excellent. Linux is multi-user, multitasking, but Microsoft Windows doesn't support. Thank you guys, thank you for watching, and I hope so this video for introduction of Linux will make you understand about Linux clearly with no doubts. Further, we are going to start with the commands. Before commands of Linux, we will start with the GUI, how to use the GUI in the Linux. And if you want to learn the Linux thoroughly, please subscribe my channel, and you can have the link of the channel in the description section. Thank you very much.